Reid Hoffman, if there is a father or a grandfather or an uncle of social media, it's you. And I'm pointing my finger aggressively. You were an early investor in Friendster, early investor in Facebook. In fact, David Kirkpatrick in the Facebook Effect claimed that your dating site, what was it?
SocialNet.
SocialNet was the first social media business. How did you get to it first?
Well, I don't really know if I got to it first. There were a set of people involved. What I do know is that what I am is a student and worker in human ecosystems. And what I like about the consumer internet is it's how millions of people all put in this kind of electronic space. You can design platforms and applications that can really help them in their real lives. And I think in terms of those ecosystems. I think in terms of marketplaces. I think in terms of how networks of people relate. And that was the genesis of the idea from SocialNet was, hey, you can reconfigure based on profiles with A looking for B and B looking for A for a bi-directional match across a wide variety. Dating, yes, but also roommates and activities like golf partners and professional networking. And that was the kind of the key insight, because you can reconfigure electronic space to enhance the value in your real world life. And that's been an idea that, that way of thinking is natural to me. And so to whatever degree I'm early, it's because of the way I think.
So you said about LinkedIn that it has the capacity to change lives, and you said that that's in its infancy. And I assume you would use those same words across the social media landscape. What does that mean in terms of actually changing people's lives?
Well, so in the LinkedIn case, it's a question of so the formal model for career used to be you go get a job at some place like IBM and they kind of train you up and you get some experiences and you kind of work up a career ladder. That career ladder and that training regime no longer really works, because and it's, I think, a good thing that there's liquidity and mobility in the job market. And what that means is resources can reapply to maximum value, and that people can pursue their own economic career path much more aggressively. But the question is, how do they develop themselves? How do they get new perspectives? How do they get information? How do they deliver on their job really well? Well, they need to take responsibility of that for themselves, and the basic way that you can do that most easily is through a network, right? Through the people that you're connected to, the people you find and say, okay, we establish relationships and that sort of thing. And that's what, the kind of thing that LinkedIn has the ability to transform people's lives based on helping them take much more command and much more diligence on how they pursue their professional life. On the social networking side, there's everything from the way that a lot of people use Facebook, which is a quick check-in for what's going on with a set of people I'm connected to. Have they gone to any fun parties, taken any trips, been playing games and so forth. And that kind of actually pulse of emotional connection is very valuable. You can tell that by how many people do it, right? A wide variety of my friends, including my wife, go onto Facebook every day, both through mobile and the web, as a way of keeping that emotional connection with people around them. Now, anticipating your question, is it a substitute for real world interaction? That would be a mistake, right? But the problem is you actually can't do the same kind of real world connection with all the people. And so as a blended approach to life, it's actually very valuable.
Do you ever worry that you, as one of the fathers, one of the angels of social media, might have created something that could go seriously wrong?
So ultimately, not really. Entrepreneurs and
but you're a visionary. You're a philosopher as well as an entrepreneur. You're not just a guy obsessed with making money.
Well, but I absolutely, and actually more obsessed with impact than anything else. So, are there some potential downsides? I mean, so for example, probably the only one that I really concern myself with is, if everyone's location data is always on, how does that what happens exactly there? But on the other hand, I actually think that the tool of enhancing connections, like for example, people used to think, oh, mobile phones are a complete disaster because now you can take phone calls anywhere and distract you from what you're doing. I think overall, if I would sing the defense of mobile phones.
My phone should just go at this moment. Right?
Yes, exactly. And that's roughly what I think also of social networks, right? Are there issues? Are there adjustments? Do you need to know how to participate in the medium, use the tool, that sort of thing? Absolutely yes. But at the end of the day, it's a far better thing to exist than not to exist. And so hence I'm an optimist.